In this next lesson, I want to show you one other way to play the number system scale on a bass. And this is going to come in handy for certain keys and certain ways to use to find different notes. So let me show you this real quick and I'll explain it. Okay, so let's first start. Let's say we're playing in the key of G. Remember, the most important thing using the number system is knowing what 1 is, and that refers to the key you're playing in. So let's go to the key of G again. So it would be right here. Number 1 would be this. Number 2 would be here. Now here's a different pattern. Number 3 is here. Number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, and the octave 1 right there. So what this does is it's called the 3-note per string scale, and rather than switching 3 to over in this position, it kind of spreads out the fretboard a little bit. Now this will come in handy, so as you can see, you might want to pause it here and memorize this. It's hard to play this without shifting your hands on the bass. And unlike the guitar where you keep your fingers together like on certain frets, on the bass it's totally fine to shift and move your fingers, your whole hand actually, to get these notes. But once you learn this, let me show you one of the things that it can do to help you in certain keys. A popular key for worship is the key of E. And in the key of E, unless you play an E over here, and you're going to lose all these low notes, typically you want to play E with this open note right here, the low E string. Well, if that's 1, we put 1 here. 2 would be right here. Well, in the first pattern, 3 would have to be on this A string behind the nut. That's impossible. So when you're playing in the key of E, this really helps because 1, 2, and 3 is played over here. 4 is played open A right there. 5 is here. 6, 7, back to the 1 octave. So you see now you got 3 notes per string and you can play using all these low notes. Let me show you one other benefit to using this 3-note per scale or 3-note per string on the bass. Let's say, for example, you're in the key of C. So C's right there. I'm going to make my scale pattern 1, 2, 3-note per string. 3 is another whole step away. 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Now, when you have it laid out this way and you use the octave trick that I showed you in the previous lesson, all of a sudden you're going to find different or the same notes in different locations. For example, when you want to play a lower 6, let's say you don't want to go from 1 to 6 like this. Well, if you use that octave principle or rule, trick, you would go from 6, remember, left 2, up 2 strings. There would be another 6 right there. 5, 2, 2. So you have 5. But this 6 here is a very common way to play a 6 note from 1 when you want to go lower. So all of a sudden, you know, if you just kind of stick with this 3-note per string pattern, you're going to find out different locations on how to find the same note, which will open up the fretboard even more, and that will allow you to be able to control your notes even better using the number system.